This is the Samsung Galaxy S2 and this is your 5-minute whiz through what this phone can do. First of all, I'm just going to show you the size. So the first thing that gets said to me is, it's huge. This is the iPhone 3GS, this is the Galaxy S2. You can see how much bigger it is. It's a little bit thinner though, I would say. It bulges, there you go, it bulges a little bit at the end, but not very much. It's definitely thinner than the 3GS. When you actually hold it, this is where you'll see how much lighter it is. So, 3GS, 137, I know it looks like 131, but it's 137 grams. If I just swap that over for the Samsung, that's 114 grams. I'm just going to stick a lipstick on there, 129 grams. You're still lower than you were with the iPhone 3GS. It's an extra lipstick in your handbags, girlies. Okay, so the other thing to note is that this has got 16GB internal memory. If I just pop this back off, you should be able to see this little slot here. That just takes a micro SD card. You just slide it in. That means that you can expand the memory and you can have multiple cards. You can only store one at a time, obviously, but because you can have multiple cards, you could have films on one, you could have music on another. You could have one specifically for books because you can use this as an e-reader with the Kindle app or the e-book store that comes as standard. That's one of the great things that other phones, obviously you're having to decide what size memory you need when you buy it, and you're stuck with that when you sort of expand your collection of music or what have you. So that's a really nice feature. Okay, so this is the screen. You can see it's a 4.3-inch screen. It's really, really crisp and clear. It's a Super AMO LED, which is nice and bright. Just going to show you a little bit about the software that's actually loaded on here. So this has got Android 2.3 Gingerbread, and it's got the TouchWiz 4.0, which is like the Samsung's layer over Android. Gives you these widgets that are really nice. You can go over the different pages. So I've got an applications. It's not an application killer. It's like a list of active applications, so you can close them off so that they don't drain your battery. Weather that updates, and you can choose how regularly that updates. Got an Amazon MP3 music player. You can add in all your widgets for Twitter, Facebook, contact list there, so you can change these to who you want to program them to. Then if you just go across, so you can have multiple pages. As you can see, I am not using half of them. There's more widgets that you can choose from. If you just go into the menu and add, if I choose widgets, you've got them all across the bottom. One of the other nice, I've chosen agenda there, sorry. The other thing that you can add is shortcuts through to other applications, folders. I really like the folders just because it's an easy way of storing apps in a kind of tidy way. So I've got sort of PA, which has got my email and what have you, and then I've got one specifically for photography. Talking about photography, I'm just going to show you a little bit about the camera. It's an 8-megapixel camera on the rear, and it's got an amazing 2-megapixel camera on the front. So if I just show you a picture from the rear, it's not the best probably showing you this way. I'll show you a couple of pictures that I've taken in a moment. But if I just change it around to the front-facing camera, you'll see just how good that is. You can just see how clear that is, given that that's only a 2-megapixel for the front. And it's a lot better than a lot of other cameras that are front-facing. They're generally like VGA. So this is really good if you're wanting to do Skype, Google Video. There's an application on Android called Fring that you can do video calls with. I actually used something similar on the Galaxy Tab when I was in America, and it was really good for staying in touch. Also want to show you that they've actually loaded as standard, I don't know if you can see that, it's going to focus. So there's a photo editor and a video maker, and that comes as standard on here. I haven't used it much yet, it's probably something to play with at a later date. If I just put new, so you can select your theme and it will add in nice sort of screens and stuff. Definitely need to play with that more, but I was really interested to see that came as standard on here. And presumably that would mean that you could take videos, you could edit them, and then you could load them straight onto YouTube. The other thing I just wanted to show you really was how clear the screen is for videos. So one of the apps I've got just takes you through to different, just pressed the wrong button. It's a really good, responsive screen. So I'll just take you through to a program. So this is just going to be a Gossip Girl episode, but it's just to show you how good the screen is. I've started to watch films and things on here, and it's just incredible really for the screen. You can do this over 3GS, obviously it's clearer on Wi-Fi just because it's a bigger file. Just click play. It's just got one speaker on the back, but it's really clear. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it okay.
Good morning, Upper East Siders. Gossip Girl here, your one and only source into the scandalous lives of Manhattansville. My God, you'll never believe
Okay. The only other thing to mention is just you'll see how quickly I've moved between applications there. It's a really responsive phone. It's got a dual-core processor. Apparently it's got lots of RAM, which just means really that it will do what you want it to do when you want it to do. You're not having to sit there and wait for it to catch up with what you've chosen. And the last thing I need to say, because I've run over the 5 minutes, is that apparently this still has an open bootloader, which basically means that developers can do all kinds of funky things to make the phone even better. Apparently some of the manufacturers are starting to close out that development loophole. So it's exciting really to see what people can do with the Samsung. Fantastic phone. Was a little bit scared by the size when it first arrived, but given the weight and what it can do, it's definitely a phone to consider.